Okay, guys. So before going into the session and let's talk about the analytics and the tools, I will quickly give you my introduction. So my name is Manya Tyagi. I come from Bijnor, UP. I have done my graduation from Delhi University. After that, I joined Omnicom Media Group for a couple of years. After that, I worked with Ola as a business analyst, and right now I'm working as a data analyst in a US-based law firm, which is Lisinski Law, and that is a full-time remote job. So that's why I'm managing my teaching things side by side. So from the last 2 years, I'm into this teaching, and my core tools are SQL, Power BI, Tableau, Advanced Excel, and Python. In my experience in terms of corporate, if you consider, I have worked on SQL, Power BI a lot because since I've been into business analytics and data analytics field, so I have worked on those tools in my past, and so that I will be able to help you in that particular thing, so that you can guys relate how these skills you can utilize that into your corporates. So the agenda for the session from my side is that I will first brief you about why analytics is so much important and why it's so much booming in the career nowadays. And after that, we will quickly see if we talk about SQL and Power BI, what is the quick demo I can give you so that you can understand why it is important in terms of learning those skills. So I appreciate if you guys have any doubt, you can put that into the chat so that we can have an interactive session. And if there is something which is very important to discuss right away, you just can unmute yourself and discuss that. Okay, cool, great. So first, let's talk about career in analytics. What exactly if we talk about analytics as a word, what exactly comes under it? Why we need it? Why we learn it? So analytics is basically if you are trying to do some analysis onto your data for which you can find some insight, and on that insight, business can take some decisions. That is what you will be doing in the process of analytics. Let me give you a quick example. I will give you 1 million rows of data, which is in the Excel format, and I will ask you what insight you can draw from it. And consider that's data which is related to Google Analytics or maybe the website data or something like that. So what you will do for that? Maybe you will be having product-wise sale, or maybe you have store-wise sales and something like that. So how you will work on that? You will try to see maybe what is my January sale, what is my February sales till date. Maybe you will check what is my last year sales and you will try to do some comparison. After that, maybe you will find that, okay, in November, the sales goes very down, and in April, the sales was too high. So this type of insight you can draw from the data, and then business will take decision over it that, okay, why my sales is too low in November, or why my sales is too high on April. So maybe that is some seasonality factor, that is something related to the product. For example, your products is something which is used in summer. So obviously your sales will go in high in April, but it will go down in the winter season. So all this kind of analysis you can draw when you work on the data as a thing. After that, why analytics is so much important? What all you can do if we are talking about analytics? Obviously, you can take a decision, because if data is saying that, okay, your sale is going in a right direction, keep on increasing, so you can draw some insight out of it and you can take the decisions effectively. It will increase your efficiency level, because when you work on some real data points, that will be very efficient than you just randomly talking about something, or you are just giving you some random stuff. After that, competitive advantage, because everyone in the world is competing with each other, right? If you are talking about the edtech company, there are a lot of edtech companies, but everyone is doing something better than the other one. That's why they are on the upper level. So that's why we have the competitive advantage also. You can find the customer inside that, okay, if my customer is purchasing every month from me, so what is the customer insight which you can draw? After that, you have predictive capabilities, that, okay, if you can check, if you're talking about the sale, which is of the last 9 months, and you are seeing that, okay, from January to February, my sale is increased 10%. From February to March, my sales increased 11%. So you can easily draw an insight, okay, from November, my sale is this. So most probably on December, my sale will go up till this number, since I am seeing that, okay, it's keep on increasing or something like that. So you can easily predict the capabilities of your business if you're talking about in terms of data. Now, the second question comes is, who is eligible for this? Am I coming from non-tech background eligible for that? I am having 5 years of experience into sales. I am eligible for that, or I am just having 1 year of analytic experience. Am I eligible for that? So anybody who are interested to go into analytics in terms of upskilling their self to make a good career path and have a strong technical skill can pursue for their career. Yes, I cannot deny the fact that it will be difficult for the people who are coming from non-tech or who are coming from sales. But if your skills are on point, and if your CV and everything, your interview preparation is on point, you will definitely able to crack it. Why I am very sure about it? Because I am also one of them. I am not from technical background, but I have worked on my skill. I have prepared my resume so much good that, okay, if someone is looking at it, everyone is selecting that one. So other additional factor you need to work on if you are not directly coming from the technical background. After that, if we talk about what exactly data journey look like, what are the things which we have inside it and how we will work on that. So first is data collection. Data collection means you are gathering the data from various sources and you are just storing that up. And after that, you will do further analysis out of it. For an example, we have organized this workshop. We have collected your data. After that, we have come up that, okay, some people have joined with multiple devices or maybe they have registered with multiple devices. After that, we have cleaned that data up because for each customer, we want only one single entry. Then only we can find the further analysis. So after collecting it, we will do a cleaning process. After cleaning, we do the analysis process. For an example, we have come up that, okay, 1,000 people have enrolled in this workshop, only 100 have joined. So, okay, so this is the kind of analysis you can do that, okay,
Hello.
if you target 1,000 people, only
हाँ
100
बता मैं मास्टर छी
after that, you can also do a visualization out of it. Okay, from those 100 people, how many people are from non-technical background? How many are from technical background? Or maybe how many of them have 0 to 2 years of experience, or maybe 2 to 4 years of experience. This analysis will help us to understand which exactly people are interested in our product, right? So this is a part of the analysis and visualization. After that, the decision making. Once we know that, okay, from 1,000 people, 100 people are interested, and these are from majorly from 0 to 2 years of experience. So, okay, this is our target market. We have to further do the analysis or further do the marketing on that particular chunk of the employees which we have, or maybe the people we have around it. So that is comes under the decision making. So these are the 5 things which you guys as a data analyst will work on. Decision making is something which will come when you grow in the hierarchy. Maybe you go for the senior data analyst, or maybe the team lead, or maybe the group lead. Then the decision making power will come to your hand. But apart from that, the first 4 thing is something which you start working on whenever you join any company. After that, this is just a same explanation of the same thing. Now let's talk about what exactly the skill path I need to follow if I want to go into analytics. So there are 2 things. One is hard skills, another one is soft skills. If I'm talking about the hard skills, it will be for sure SQL, because SQL is the main tool which you use for storing the data and having that into the different databases. After that, you have to work on Python and R because that is a statistical tools and machine learning thing. So that is also a very, very important thing which you have to work on. After that, you will also need an understanding of Excel. So because sometime we just do a quick analysis. So we want to do that on the Excel tool. So Excel is important, and Power BI and Tableau for the visualization part. That is also something which is very important. Now, if I am talking about the soft skills, what all I need a good communication skill. I need an analytical thinking. I need creative mind. I need problem solving. I need a good player capabilities, and also I need a good decision making. Now, the question comes is that if I only know these hard skills, I know a decent knowledge of Python, I know have decent knowledge of SQL, is that enough? Or do I really need to work on my soft skills? See, right now, everyone is know that, okay, you need to learn Power BI, you need to learn SQL. But how you will present that same information into your interviews or maybe into your first job, that is something will be the game changer. So that is for sure that you need to learn these all tools, but that side by side you also needs to work on the your soft skills. That is also something very very important, because if you do not have a good communication skill, how you will tell others that you know this thing? Maybe they just give you a problem statement which you are not able to explain that properly, right? So again, these soft skills are something which is very important. Now, uh, I know these same skills. I have a good soft skill. I have a good hard skill. So how I will pursue for the interview? What are the rounds which you have to give in? So after a lot of analysis, we come up with that there are majorly 4 to 5 rounds which people have to give in the data analytics domain. One is the initial screening round, which we will also call the CV round, where you will apply to the job portals or maybe through LinkedIn, and your CV will get shortlisted. That is the first stage. So in the first stage, you have to work on your CV so well, because you are not going with your CV, right? No one is listening to your voice. No one is understanding what technical skill you have. I will also write that I know SQL. You will also write the same thing, that you know SQL, right? So everyone is same on that page. So apart from that, you have to work on your CV. You have to make the good ATS score. You have to use good keywords into your resume so that someone should basically accept your resume. That's the first part. Second is the technical round. Majorly, we have seen that there is only one technical round, but sometimes you can also have 2 or 3 technical rounds. So in the technical rounds, majorly that revolves around the Excel, your SQL, and Python. So they will ask you some question regarding that. For SQL, they will ask you to share your screen, write the query. For Python, they will again give you the some queries verbally, and you have to write the code. For Excel, they might ask give you some quick database, and they will ask you to create a VLOOKUP formula or something like that. So this type of technical round also you see. So in the technical round, obviously your hard skills should be on point, also your soft skills, because you have to communicate and explain them what's your approach and everything. After that, into your third round, you will be having a behavioral round or a guess estimation round, in which you will be talking about, for example, let me give you a quick one for this. Most of the people don't know what guess estimation round is. So let's consider you live in Bangalore, and they will give you an example saying that, please tell me what is the total number of people use their mobile phones during 7 to 7:15. So they will give you 15 minutes of window, and they will ask you what exactly number of people use their mobile phone in that duration. So this type of round also you see in the third round, and you have to come up with the, okay, Bangalore population is this, from this age group to this age group there are this much people. 7 to 7:15 is the office timing, so generally people use mobile phones for their cabs. People use metro, so they just use social media during that time to just pass the time and something like that. So you have to come up with lot of things which you can think of that is the exact time, and then you have to give your certain number. So this type of behavioral and guess estimation round also you can see in the third round. After that, you have the fourth round. Generally, it will be an HR round where they will just discuss your salary and everything. But sometime it will also be a managerial round where your senior manager or something discussing that, okay, are you comfortable with this location or not? So this type of, generally it will be majorly on the chill side. But yeah, you cannot expect anything in corporate. It can be anything. So majorly, these are the 4 things which you have to work on. And throughout your step 1 to step 4, you need your soft skills and hard skills. So before I go for the bonus trip, I just wants to know, do you guys have any problem in any of the point? Yes, no,
Write down on chat, yes, no. Okay.
no. Cool. Fine. After that, let's talk about a bonus tip. This is my personal tip. I will give that to everyone wherever I talk about the analytics as a domain. See, you know that skill development is important. You also know that soft skill is important, that we have talked about already. But there are 3 other things which you need to learn. One is you need to be having a continuous learning approach. Right now, we all know that we are booming very much fast in the software thing and this AI and everything. So you cannot stick to one point and then you think that okay, I will grow. You won't grow in that sense. You have to have a good continuous learning approach towards your career. For an example, if you know SQL and you have get your first job through SQL, so it should not be stopped there, because if you come out of that company, maybe in the second company they will ask you something else. They will ask you high knowledge on Power BI or Tableau. So you should follow the same approach from day one, that okay, if I know this, I need to learn some other tool. If I know that tool also, I need to learn something else. After that, gaining experience, you can do some you can attend some workshops like this, or maybe you can attend some internship thing, or maybe you can attend some offline workshop also to gain experience, and like basically listen about what exactly the professionals are talking about, what is something which is right now currently going on in the corporates. After that, networking. Networking is the main important thing which everyone should know. Like, uh, consider that I am from non-technical background, I am fresher, I do not have any knowledge how this corporate is working. So how you will uh, talk with other people so that you have a personal bonding with that, so that in if any point of time they will be having a opening in their companies, they will consider you. So you have to make a good LinkedIn account. You will keep on sending the request to the people who are currently working in the analytics domain, and keep on asking that okay, if there is any internship opportunity, please refer me. If there is any full-time opportunity, please refer me. Or maybe you can check where these people are working, and if you find that opportunity in their in that company career page, you can send them that okay, please refer me for that. So this type of networking is something which is very very much important. And trust me, I am in my third company right now, and two of them are through referral only. So I just reach out to the random people on LinkedIn saying that please refer me, and they have considered me. Because see, there is only one opening in one company. There is one role, one opening is there, and there will be 1,000 of application in 1 hour, because everyone know how to apply on LinkedIn, right? So how your resume and your profile will shortlisted if that profile needs to compete with that 1,000 people. So the good thing is that you can just pitch your profile directly to the person who are currently working there, or maybe directly to the HR saying that I have the relevant experience, please consider me. And please trust me on this. If an HR gets the resume from the opposite side, and if that resume is 50% aligned with the job description, they consider that, because that is by the end of the day making their work very easy. Because otherwise, HR needs to go through those 1,000 resume and needs to select one resume. But in that way, it will be very easy for them. So networking is something which is very much important. Okay, now we will be moving to the demo part of the class. So if you guys have any doubt, you can quickly ask. Okay. So in the demo, we will be talking about SQL, just a overview, then a Power BI thing, and then we will go for the Excel. Now let's start with SQL first of all. Before knowing what exactly these tools are all about, we have to first understand what exactly data management as a word is. So data management is basically when you are collecting and storing the data so that you can protect that, and you can easily find the analysis out of it, that everything comes under the data management. So you are storing it so that no one can use that data for their personal purpose. Everything comes under data management. Now, inside data, we have two things. One is structured data, another one is non-structured data. Structured data means when you have defined the data structure by yourself. For an example, in India, we know that if there is a mobile number, that will always be a 10-digit number. And before that, you will be apply an India code, which will be +91. So it is a proper structure. If you go beyond that structure, you use 9-digit, or you use 11-digit, or maybe you use different code in front of that number, that number won't work. So that is called a structured data, where you have everything is in the designed format. On the other hand, you have non-structured data, when there is a no predefined structure of your data. Let's consider I am a sales manager, and inside me there are 5 people who are working. I want to know how my sales team is working. So I just listen to their audio files, whatever they communicate with the clients, and I will try to analyze like whose communication skill is better, whose convincing skill is better, and so on. So this is also a kind of data analysis, right? You are just listening some audio voice and finding out some qualitative insight. But in this sense, the data is not structured because audio files can be in any format, it can be in any language or something of other sort. So this is called unstructured data. Let me give you a quick second example. You are running a bottle business and you want to see what are my competitors are doing. So you are just went to their Instagram and you have seen that okay, they are running these type of marketing campaigns. So you are storing that information that okay, they have run this poster, or maybe they have run this influencer marketing or something. So that data is also a kind of data, but that is again a non-structured, means unstructured data, which you can use further into the thing. Now, why we are talking about structured and unstructured data, that is because of this particular slide. We have to understand one thing. If the data is structured, it is properly defined, you can do a quick analysis out of it, and it can be a quantitative insight. Quantitative insight means you can find some numbers out of it, and you can easily say that okay, my sales is went from 10% to 20%, or maybe my profit is now 1 lakh more than what was it was in the previous month, or something of that sort. But if you're talking about unstructured data, you can only find the qualitative insight. Means my X employees is working better than my Y employee. Maybe the communication skill for this person is better than the other person. So this type of qualitative insight you can find out. Now, SQL as a language, you can use or write only on the structured data. When the data is properly defined, you can do it. But you have machine learning thing which you can work on the unstructured data as well. Now, let's talk about the data flow. How data will come into the databases, how we will transform it, and how we can further work on it. So there are three things which you guys need to remember: data logging, data transformation, and driving insight. Data logging means whenever there is a unstructured or structured data comes in and it will get dumped at one place, that we will call a data lake. So we just have some random data at one place, and that is we are calling data lake. After that, we are transforming that data and making it structured data in a proper format and pushing that back to your databases. That is called data transformation. And in this, the data engineering team, this is not something which we have to do. This is a data engineering team altogether. They will do the ETL process. ETL process means extracting, transforming, and loading. Means I will extract the data from the data lake. I will transform it to the structured data, and I will load it back to the system in the structured format. They will do the ETL process and they will vend that back to the data warehouse. After that, they will also segregate that data warehouse thing into the different databases so that we can use it. And after that, as a data analyst or a data scientist, we will work on that structured data to find the insight. So there are three things: data lake, data warehouse, and database. Now, the question might come to your mind is what is the difference between a data warehouse and database? Because both of them consider a structured data. So what is the difference? Let me give you a quick example. Consider you have a warehouse, and inside that warehouse, you are having a different shelves. So in one shelf, you are putting all the bottles. In the different shell, you are putting all the mouse, and in the other shell, you are putting all the stationery items. So why you are not dumping everything at one place? Because it will be very confusing. It will be so much mix and match. But if you have everything at the proper place, then anybody can go to that specific place, find that item, and come in couple of seconds. So that's why inside one data warehouse also you have different databases where you can store the information. Now, what I'm like talking about in terms of having different databases, let's consider I have a company in which I have a finance department, I have a sales department, and I have an IT department. Every department must have their own data, because for example it's an HR department, so they are storing the employees age, their salaries, their addresses, and everything. So this is the one type of data. For finance department, there will be the bonus calculation. There will be salary rollout thing. There will be promotion data and everything. So finance will be having their own database. Now, so in that sense, you can create different databases for different team so that they know that, okay, if I'm in the HR department, I need to only work on this certain data and I do not need to know the knowledge of all the database which I have in my warehouse, right? Because it will be very easy for them to understand that, okay, one database, that's it. Inside that databases, you will be having multiple tables, and that table we will use for the analysis purpose. So majorly, we will be working on databases and tables. These are the two words which you will use a lot into your system. Now I will quickly show you how your SQL server, see, in databases, we have a couple of things. We have Oracle, we have Postgres, and so on. In the same way, we have this Microsoft SQL Server as well. Not this one, this one. So this is a Microsoft SQL Server, which we will call SSMS also. I can write that into the chat. SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. So this is a Microsoft product which you can use to store the database and you can write your query. So right now it is not connected to any server. If I go and connect that to my laptop, you will start seeing some information on the left hand side. And if you click on the database, you will be seeing that, okay, you have so many database inside it. And there, if you further click here, there will be a lot of tables. I'm not going into the detail of how SSMS work, that we will cover in the course, but just to show you how things look like in real scenario. Right now, you have this database which we will call AdventureWorks LT 2022. Inside that, you have these many tables which you can use for further analysis. You can click on new query, you can write your SQL code in this, and you can execute that code to see the values. If you want, I can quickly show you one of the code. No need to remember how I'm writing it, but just to show you how things will look if I run something. Okay, so I am saying I want to see some information from this particular table, and this is what you will see after running it. So you have this table, you have this column. If you want, you can further analyze it while writing the certain other types of operation into it. After that, this is just an explanation of what database, data warehouse, and data lakes separately looks like, and we have already done a detailed discussion on this. But right now, you can basically look at this. Data lake, we have a multiple data lake providers. We have Amazon Web, we have Azure, and we have so on. So which provides the data lake services where companies stores their information. After that, in the same way, we have certain companies which provide data warehouse services like Snowflake and so on. And after that, we have different databases, which we have already talked. Like we can have Oracle, Postgres, MongoDB, and so on. And some you can see in the image also. But the problem is all these databases are not relationship database. Now you have understood lake, warehouse, and databases. Now inside that database, you have certain differences inside it. So one is relationship database. That is what we will use in SQL. SQL only we can written on the relationship database. So in the course, you won't learn SQL only on SSMS or only on Postgres or something like that. You will learn SQL as a language, which you can implement everywhere whenever the database is relationship. And how you can understand this is, for an example, if I ask you, write hello in the chat. So you just say HELLO and that's it. If I ask you to do the same thing in the WhatsApp or in the Instagram, you will follow the same structure, right? You just know how to text. After that, you can implement that texting skill everywhere. In the same format, you just need to know SQL and you can implement that thing wherever we are talking about the relationship database. So if we check these pointers, only first two are the relationship database. This MongoDB and so on are not a part of relationship database. From this image, only Oracle, MySQL are the part of the relationship database. Is this point clear or not? tool. So the thing which I have showed you, that is also a relationship database, and which we will call SSMS, the Microsoft product. And this tool is very powerful. My own company also used the same tool for the SQL. Okay. Now, since we have seen that, okay, relationship database is something which is important. So now let's quickly see what relationship databases exactly looks like. So relationship database says, if you are storing multiple tables inside it, that table should have an interlinked with each other. For an example, whatever you are seeing in the dark blue, that are the table name. So you have one user table, you have tags table, you have movies table, and you have ratings table. And these tables are interlinked, which you can check with these lines. So how that data is working? I'm giving you a scenario. Let's consider we are running a Book My Show website, and there is some person come in. That person log into the website and bought one movie ticket. So when that person comes in and log in, there will be a user information which is saved in the user table with the user ID, first name, last name, and email. So these are the things which any website wants whenever you log in, right? The email ID and the names. In the same way, that website also asks me the same thing, and they are recording that information into the user table. Once you have bought anything from that particular website, that information will be saved in the tags table with these information. There will be an ID. It can be an order ID, purchase ID, whatever it is. There will be a tag created. So again, this tag can be anything. We do not know right now what it is, but we know that, okay, there is something called tag. After that, which user purchased that particular movie, and after that, movie ID. So which person has purchased which particular movie ID, that all information will be stored here. Now, we can see that this ID has a link with this particular user ID in the tags table. It means there are some relationship which we can check in a bit. Right now, you know that, okay, consider that Manya is the customer. So Manya purchased a movie ID 1. What is that 1? That is a unique ID which is given to a movie. Now you have to find what exactly the movie name is. So that information is stored inside the movies table. You have ID, you have name, and you have the description. So if you check this ID 1 in the movies table, you can understand that, okay, you can see that, okay, 1 is for Dawn movie. So the movie is Dawn. After that, once everything is done, that person again come back to the system and they have given some rating to my movie. So after that, you will be having one rating table in which you have ID, you have rating number, whatever it is, and then you have a user which has given the rating. And after that, you have the movie ID for which movie that particular user has given the rating. So this is the structure look like. What we generally as a normal human being think, it is a very small thing, right? User come in, they purchase something, that's it. But inside the database, inside the backend story, that particular information saved in multiple places in multiple different tables. So after that, you will club them those tables to find some analysis. For example, I will give you this rating table, and I will ask you, there is one username is 1, and that person has given 5 rating to certain movie ID. Please tell me the username of that particular user. So you do not know what is the username, you just know user ID if you are talking about the rating table. But you know, this user information I have saved in the starting when that user comes in the website, right? In the users table. So you check that user information in the user table, and then you can find the first name and the last name and the email. So again, this is something a very advanced topic. We will do the joining and everything to get that data. But right now you can understand that, okay, if there is certain information in one table, you can easily join them and you can get that data. Now, I will quickly show you like what these lines are representing here. So if you check, there is in some places it is saying 1, and in some places there is a dot. So first of all, this is not a dot, it's a star sign, or you can consider asterisk. So it is representing one to many relationship. So when tables are interlinked with each other, there will be multiple types of relationship inside it. So we have 4 of these type, and this one is one to many. One to many relationship says that If there is one data point in the first table where your relation is saying 1, it will be only one record. And where you have multiple matching, you will be seeing a many star sign. So what does that mean? Whenever I logged in into the system, Manya as a user, there will be one ID which is given. If I come back to the system once again, there will be still one ID which is given to me, because a system will only give one unique ID to one particular customer. And how they are identifying it? With the help of a email. If I use a different email, then maybe my ID will be different. But let's consider I'm using one email. I have bought one movie, I have given a rating. Again, I come next weekend, I have bought one more movie, and again, I have given one more rating. So in the user table, you will only see Manya information one single time. But in the rating table, you will see that multiple time, because every time whenever I give the rating, there will be multiple record. And that's why we are saying it one to many relationship. So that one ID in the user table can be only one time, but in the rating table, you can have it multiple times. So this is called one-to-many relationship. Anybody has any doubt in this? And if you guys able to understand this one, it's a very good thing, because this is called relationship database diagram. So inside one database, you can have a diagram which will show how these tables are linked. And this is something which people face difficulty in terms of understanding it. Anybody has any doubt in this? Cool. So one last thing. Whenever you have one table called rating or user, you are seeing two things. One is on the left hand side and one thing is on the right hand side. So left hand side is these are the columns which you have inside that table. And on the right hand side, this is called the data type. So you are seeing somewhere it's int, somewhere it's varchar, somewhere it's text. So this is the data type, the same you have in Excel. Sometimes you have that in the numerical value, sometimes a date, sometimes it's a text value in the same format. So int means it's an integer. It can either be a negative or positive number. Varchar means it's a alphanumerical value. So it can be special character as well. For example, in email, we have at email.com, right? So we are using that at sign as a special character. So that's why it's considering it varchar, so and so on. Again, when we go into the course, we will have a detailed discussion of this. But right now, since it's a part of a diagram, I have to explain it. Okay, cool. So this is about the SQL thing. Since we do not have much time, so let's try to go into quickly. I will show you one code, how that look when we write that in the system. And after that, we will move to Power BI. Okay. Yes. So if you want to create any new table into the system, this is what you have to write. And this is what we learn also into the course. So you are saying I will create a table with the name of employee, and this is the information I will have inside it. It means the column heading. So you are saying there will be one column with employee ID, there will be another column first name, last name, date of birth, position, and salary. And whatever you are writing in front of this is called the data type. So it's an integer, it's a varchar, it's a date, and so on. And we are calling it a primary key. Again, primary key is a different concept altogether. But right now you can just understand that, okay, if we want to give something, some keys, that is the way which we can use it. These type of codes you need to write. And we have some other codes which we can use to insert the value inside this table, and we can run it. So just an overview of it. Okay. Anybody has any doubt in this? And also, you can have a look at this particular diagram. This is just a basic SQL query diagram, which will just show you how the select from, where, order by, and group by box. So these are the 5 clauses, which we will consider the basic clauses, which at least everyone should know. And yes, maybe we will discuss that in detail, but this is how these 5 clauses looks like. Okay, cool. Let me start with Power BI now. Power BI is a visualization tool. So you need to first download it if you do not have it. So in this, the process is also mentioned if you want to download it in future. And this is the website which you can use to download it. So there are three different versions in Power BI. One is the server, one is the app, and another one is web. So right now, which I am using is the app version. So I will download it, and this is exactly what you will see once you download it and open it for the first time. Obviously, in the recents, there will be no reports. Right now, I have a couple of them, but you won't see anything. So once you start the Power BI, this will be the window. So first thing, how I will bring my data into Power BI. My data might be in Excel, my data might be in SQL Server. For example, this is my table. How I will bring that to the Power BI? That is a question. Or maybe I have an Excel table, how I will pull that. So inside Power BI, you have a lot of option to get the data. So you can either get that from some sources like from servers or something, or maybe you can just pull the Excel file. So first, if you open a blank report, this is how it will look. So it will ask you, do you want to import your data from SQL Server, which is the exactly the same thing which I have mentioned, or you want to import that from the Excel? For example, let's consider I want to pull the Excel. So you just click on import. Whatever is your Excel file, you just need to pull that, and then you will able to add that here. Right now, I am not showing you the same process, but just a quick revision of this particular Power BI thing. So once you pull that data, you will able to create the visualization. So on the right hand side, you will be having what type of graphs you want to create, whatever it's either a bar graph, a column chart, whatever it is. After that, again, if you talk about get data sources, you will be having couple of more. You can also get the data from the web application. You will also can get the data from directly from the servers. There are a lot of things which you can do here. After that, in the left-hand side, there will be four things. One is the report view, which is the first window which you will see. Second one is the table view. Table view means whenever you upload any Excel file and if you want to see that into the columns and everything, so you can go to the table view and check it. Third one is your model view. Model view means how that particular tables are interlinked with each other. And you can see this diagram, something looks like the same which we have discussed right now, the relationship diagram, right? So the same thing, if you have two or more tables, how that tables are interlinked with each other, you can draw that here. And after that, the most important thing, that is called DEX query. Again, the servers and SQL have its own different language. Power BI has its own language, which we will call DEX. And again, this we will cover in the courses. Why we need DEX if you already have the SQL language? DEX is basically used if you have the table, if you have every information, and you have to do some quick analysis. You want to create additional column, calculated fields, or something like of that sort. You can use DEX to do that. After that, in Power BI, again, it's not for the free version. Once you go into the companies and they will give you the license, then you can also use the Copilot version. So Copilot is just the same, basically, which we have like a Chat GPT or something. So if you write a code here and it will have some error, so you can easily ask Copilot from here to assist you in writing the same code. So in that sense, it is very much useful. But again, I won't be able to show you it right now because I have not signed it in right now. So that is a quick thing which we have inside it. Again, we have one thing called transform data as well. If you have found that, okay, there is a table, but there is no table headers inside it, basically the column headings. So inside that, in the transform part, you can give any column a name or anything. And if you want to create certain other columns also, you can do that. So this is called the Power Query Editor window. This is something different than the Power API. So it's a separate query editor window, which you can open and do the stuff. Right now, I do not have any data, so that's why you're not seeing anything here. But this is also something which we have. After that, if you go into the insert, same like Excel, you can insert any chart, you can transform it. After that, you can go to the modeling part and you can create some new measures, new metrics and everything. So that is also there. Right now, it is all disabled because we do not have any data. Again, in view, if you want to make some template change into the report, you can do that from here. So you have a lot of options here. And again, you can go to the browse option from Google to pull any template if you want. Right now, I have just clicked it and it will make everything in the same template. After that, since we have different versions of Power BI, so either you can go for the mobile view or for the laptop view. If you go for the mobile view, it will show you everything in the mobile, like how it will look like. Right now, you do not have any chart here, so that's why it's not showing. But that is also something which you can do. So that's just a quick thing so that you guys are aware of the interface and everything. Once we go into the course, we will understand everything in details once again. And again, I will give you the same demo there in the day one. Cool. Okay, now let's quickly talk about Excel. Excel is something which everyone know that, okay, we know Excel and we are very pro in it. But no one in the world is pro in Excel because Excel itself has a lot of things. You can do data cleaning in Excel, you can do visualization in Excel, you can uh, create pivot tables in Excel. So you can do a lot of things in Excel. And Excel has so much function that no one, and I consider that humanly it is not possible to remember all the function which you have in Excel. Excel is so vast. But the problem is, before going into this detail, let's give it a minute. Why I need Power BI, why I need SQL if you already have Excel? Excel is very convenient. We can easily run something and we can easily create pivot tables. Why we need other tools then? The problem with the Excel is that it will be like very slow if you use Excel on a big data. If I pull 1 million rows and put that into the Excel, my laptop will get definitely crashed because after I researched about it and I found that after 7 lakh or some rows, Excel won't work at all. So it's the maximum capacity which you have. So that is, and it is not something the laptop problem, it is just the application problem. And it will be get so slow in terms of performing if you talk about this. That is the first thing. Second thing is it has a less functionality in terms of visualization if we are comparing them to the Power BI. So that is one thing. And again, in the filtration part also, it is comparatively less convenient than what we have in SQL. So learning SQL and Power BI is hard, but using that further into the real scenario is comparatively easy. So that is the difference. Now, again, this question can also be vice versa. So if I'm learning Power BI and SQL, why I need to learn Excel? Because sometimes you have to do some very quick analysis, or maybe, for example, I need to send a report to an HR department. And HR people does not know much about SQL and Power BI. So you need to send them an Excel file that, okay, XYZ person, this is the report, these are the columns, please look at this. Because if you send them a query, they will be like fully pissed off because they don't know about it in detail. You are the data analyst, you know about it, but they don't. So that is what it is. So everything is equally important in terms of the job. Okay. Now, let me quickly open an Excel file and show you the interface. I am sure that you guys might aware of Excel. How many of you know Excel a bit? Like you can just raise your hand. I just show you my quick report, which I have created some time back. No one know Excel? Not a single person? Okay.
In chat, please say yes, no.
Yes, because if like, okay, cool. Perfect. So Excel is kind of comparatively a tool which people generally use, but that's fine. We will do a quick revision of it. Okay, in Excel, you have first thing is this tab in which you will be having everything like home, insert, and so on. The same thing which you have in Power BI. In home, you will be having all the formatting thing. If you want to color something or something of that sort. After that, you have a formula tab. If you put any formula like sum or something that you will see here. After that, here you have the cell name. Like for example, I am on this particular cell, so it is T26. How that is T26? I am on the column T, and it's a row number 26. So that is one thing which you can get here. And after that, you will also see one quick search option here. So for example, I want to remove the grid line, or I want to have the grid line or something of that sort. And you do not know how to navigate that through the tabs. So you can just go here and you can do it. So that is one thing. The whole file which I am showing you right now, that is a worksheet. And if you see in the bottom, there are some color tabs. This is called the sheet. So it's a workbook, and inside that you have a worksheets. So workbook is the full thing, and inside that you have different pages, which we will call the worksheet. And the same thing we have in the Power BI also. So right now, this is just a small dashboard I have created a couple of months back. So for example, this is the data I have created a pivot chart, and this is some kind of analysis I am drawing that on day by day how the price and the quantity is going up and down. So that type of dashboard also you can create here in the Excel. And again, in the Excel, you will be having a lot of function. So in this report, I have not used much, but you will have a couple of them. So this is all about Excel as a app. But for the same thing, the Excel, you also have one thing called Google Sheets. So again, Google Sheets have something of similar functionalities which we have in Excel. The formulas and everything work same. If you go into your Chrome, you will see those options from here. So Google Sheet, if you open, again, it will seems like a similar thing which you have in the Excel. So for example, let me open this one. So again, this full is the workbook. Inside that you have worksheet. This is the data you have. I have created couple of pivot tables inside it, and you can open those pivot tables, drag and drop, and do some quick analysis. So this is just a quick overview. So if you learn Excel as a tool, you can implement that knowledge here as well. And if you are learning Google Sheet, that the same goes there. The only difference is sometimes you will feel that the navigation part is different. For example, if you are seeing insert thing, or maybe if you are seeing the formation, for example, you want to apply conditional formatting or something of that sort. So you need to go in format in Google Sheet, but in Excel it is different. So just to give you the overview of it. Okay. So let's quickly do one small exercise before wrapping up. So in Google Sheet, we have these small shortcuts also. Obviously, no one remember all of them, but if you want, you can just check it out. And after that, we will talk about the referencing, and then we will end up the call. Okay, so in the referencing, we have three of different types. We have relative referencing, absolute referencing, and mixed referencing. Relative referencing means you want to multiply something and you want to find the final output. It will be this multiplication with this. So if you are doing this, it will give you a multiplication of this, and you can drag the formula down and you will get the value. Again, you no need to write it one by one. Why it is important? Because if you just make this changes and make this some other digit, you will automatically see the final price changing accordingly. So if you just refer the cell means this block. So if you just refer this particular cell, whatever value inside that will use into the calculation. And if you are changing that value, it will impact your final output without doing anything further on this. This is called relative referencing. Relative referencing means you will write your formula for the one cell, and if you drag that formula down, your cell will also be dragging. What does that mean? Right now, I am saying I want to multiply this B3 with C3. It means multiplication of these two, three. If I go to the next row, it will be a total price for banana. And for this, I want to multiply 140 with this 3. So if you drag this formula down, and if you again click here, in the formula bar, you will check, it will multiply B4 with C4. It means whenever you come down, the formula cells are also coming down. So it's are a free cells right now. In the same way, we have absolute referencing. Means I do not want that whenever I'm dragging the formula down, one of that formula part is also dragging it. Let me show you quickly. Right now, in the first example, you have the pricing and you have the quantity side by side. But right now, The price is constant throughout the table, the only the quantity is changing. So what you want that if I multiply this with this 2, this will be your final value. But if you drag this formula down, you will see that this 140 is also coming down and it is considering quantity, which you do not want because price is constant. So for that, what you can do is you can add a dollar sign in front of the values. So for example, I want to block B9. B9 means this column and this value. It means this particular cell. I want to block this. So you can add a dollar sign in front of this and it will help Excel to block this particular value. And if you now try to drag it, it will move the second value, which is this B11, 12, 13, and so on. But it will keep on blocking the first one, which is B9. So this is how the absolute referencing works. After that, we have mixed referencing also, in which you are fixing only one part of the cell. For an example, if you check, right now I have put the dollar sign only in the front of 18. It means I only want to block the 18th row. I do not want to block this B cell. What does that mean? That if I drag the formula towards the right hand side, I want that it will move from B18 to C18. So it is keep on dragging it down. In the same way, whenever I go down, I want that A cell will be blocked, but keep on changing this 19, 20, and so on. So this is considered as mixed cell referencing. In Excel, this is just a very zero level thing which we have to understand. After that, we have a lot of other things like formulas, and then we have pivot table and so on, which is a part of your course. Anybody has any doubt in any of these three tools? Anything you want to ask in general, not regarding the topic, anything else? No, okay. So I think that's it from my side for today. I just wanted to show you how things going to be work if you will join in, and this is just a quick demo of that.